Welcome to the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast, a show that examines all aspects of sexuality, from physical to emotional to spiritual. Join our hosts as they discuss age-old questions, common misconceptions, and the latest topics surrounding sex. They'll tackle topics about sexuality from the complicated to the hilarious and everything in between. GSMC Sex Podcast is your show for all of your questions about sex, even some you might not have thought of yet.
Welcome to the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network with your host, Andra. We're going to start our segment out today with morning sex. Now, we've all talked about it. We've all loved doing it. We know our partners, be it male, get up in the morning with a boner. And we get up frisky women as well. Now, morning sex starts our day off, just like having that first cup of coffee. And that being because the testosterone levels are running high, so we are ready just to get it on. And what better way to start our morning and our day with morning sex? It gives us energy, gets our blood pumping, and heaven only knows what it does for everybody else. But let's start off. There are 9 unbelievable benefits according to Healthline. So let's start with number 1. In the morning, your body is primed and ready to go. Morning is the perfect time for sex. Your body wakes up horny. You know, they probably say, oh, I had a wet dream or something. Or you said, you tell your partner, or ask your partner, why is it you get up every morning with a heart on? But that is because both our bodies are telling us, man and female. One for the female is that our estrogen levels are high. For the man, our testosterone levels are high. So this is like the peak time, and our libidos are affected by our hormone levels. So we have to satisfy those. Number 2 is morning sex. He lasts longer. So if we ever wanted to take our time and actually get our partners at their best, would be in the morning time. I mean, those testosterone levels are running wild in a male. So we need to know that the reason why, because when they wake up in the morning, that is not what the reason is. It's a boost. That testosterone, both in the female and male, boosts up our sexual drive. When we wake up, our bodies have been well rested, and they're ready to take on a new day. Good sleep is really good. Higher testosterone levels is better and allows for the males to have an increased erection strength. So just know that's why he's waking up with one. Just roll over on top of him. Who cares? Take advantage of it. That's why it's there. Number 3 It releases the cuddle hormone. Oh, how nice. Oxytocin. It brings you and your partner closer together. And why so and how so? Because of that lovely thing that sex produces, which is the oxytocin, which is also known as the cuddle hormone. And it's that chemical in the brain that controls love and bonding. And we like to feel that. You know, it is also released during sex, and it helps you feel more connected to your partner. Obviously, as mentioned earlier, morning sex releases stress. So that's a good way to get rid of all that stress so that you can go on with your day in a more positive, more fun outlook. I mean, studies have done, and there was one in 2010 that found that pleasurable activities can reduce our stress hormone levels. So, climaxing for you before you head to work puts you in a most wonderful mood for the rest of the day, because you have that on your mind. You can conquer anything. Any job is not too big and not too small. It releases, and I'm a little tongue-tied today, it releases endorphins. And that's the magical pain-relieving chemical in our body. By doing so, it helps to boost our mood. All these chemicals are there for a reason. Let's use them, people. Let's use them. It makes you feel happier when you climaxed. Both ends, male and female. So, let's start that day off. In the morning, if you didn't have time for a workout, sex is considered a workout. So, you are getting in those calorie burning moments. You don't have to sit down and do 100 sit-ups, but it may just get you started where you want to finish off with some push-ups and some more sit-ups. But you really don't have to, because you're having a workout in morning sex. So, that's always nice, but sex is more fun. And the next one is, it's good for the brain. It boosts your brain and its thought process. You know, this has been found in multiple studies because it's getting busy releasing a mix of neurotransmitters and hormones. So obviously in particular would be the dopamine, the feeling good hormone, and that's what we want because it benefits the brain, health, and cognition, which is really, really good. Again, we discussed these in other segments, but the best time to get these going is in the morning, because not only have we spoke about how it boosts the immune system, you know, so doesn't morning sex. It is triggering your body's natural defenses. In the morning, having morning sex, getting that workout through sex, obviously you're happy, your chemicals are stirring, so obviously you're going to come out looking younger. And you know, when people do look at you, and they, you know, some people can look at you and say, oh, they got laid this morning, because this comes out. It's alluding through, it's showing through your personality for that day. So it is a good thing. Orgasms benefit your skin anyway. If it's going to do your body good, we want to know why. It's going to make our skin good. So, and there are ways to make it happy. Several ways, but we're just going to go through a few. And let's start this off, and we'll finish that in the next section. So, ways to make it happen. Spontaneously, morning sex is great. You don't even think about it. Women, just roll over, or whoever your partner is in the morning, just roll over onto your partner, because your body is ready for it. So, it's all their levels are high. Your sex hormones high, dopamine, oxytocin, everything is high. So why even think about it? Because when we wake up from our bodies being well rested, it wants what it wants. So we do have ways to make it happen. And we'll start off with number one, which worried about time. Don't. Because when you worry about time is when you're not going to do it. And there is no need to worry about it. This is how, whereas like you're getting up in the morning, you're not even thinking about time. You have time before you go to work. And you don't even think about it. Just roll over, have sex, with the time go. You got in a workout. You got in sex that's going to make you feel good. Got all your juices working. So you don't really need to set time aside for this. But if you want to, just set your alarm a little earlier than you would usually get up in the morning. Because when that alarm goes off, it's going to wake you up. And it's going to wake your partner up. Or if it just wakes you up, you can feel a little frisky and stop playing around with your partner. And your partner is more likely going to wake up and want more. Let's take a break here. And when we return, we will continue on with ways to make morning sex happen, which is always a fun topic. So go get that drink, get that snack, come on back, and I'll be here.
Still on the search of that one true love? On the limbo in this crazy world of dating, marriage, relationships? Well, listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Relationship Podcast, your one-stop podcast for everything about relationships.
Welcome back to the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network, with your host, Andra, where the topic about sex is from the point of view of an older woman. So let's continue on from our last segment with morning sex and ways to make it happen. Now, we talked about setting an alarm a little earlier in the morning so that it wakes you up, and when you wake up you have time to be frisky with your partner. So you don't have to worry about making time, because there will be time there, and you're getting the best sex in the morning. So some people don't want to make an alarm, because then that puts kind of sort of a time frame on your morning sex. So you want to get dirty and still have your beauty rest? Conserve water by showering together. This is another way to go about this. When you wake up, make shower time both yours. Because, not for nothing, your partner can go back to bed if they don't have to go to work, but tend to when they have to go as well. Today's society calls for it. But taking a shower together and making morning time a partner's affair, you can get a quickie in while you're at it. And shower sex is pretty damn nice. So you can explore each other, wash each other, and enjoy relieving each other. Those showers are, there for a reason. Aside from taking a shower and getting cleaned, because I know everybody out there's mind just went to that. Next, you think you're going to be too tired for sex because you wake up in the morning, you're just getting up, you're groggy. I mean, we are all like that. What do we generally tell people? I wake up this beautiful and our hair sticking straight up, teeth banging breath. And some people, believe it or not, will get up before their partners and brush their teeth and comb their hair. So that is something that is done. You don't have to do that if your partner loves you and wants to be with you. I don't think they particularly care. They just want to enjoy you. Now, because you get up and you're groggy, doesn't mean we can't have a little fun in the morning. Go for positions that don't require much of you. You can spoon, generally rolling over and just cuddling up to your partner in the little spooning position. Get a little doggy style in there while doing it. You don't have to get up. You don't have to move. You're right there. He's saying hello. Go on and do it. And you don't have to do a lot of work with that. So remember that. Just roll over and snuggle up to one another. Maybe when you get up in the morning, you're frisky, but you're really not in yet to the mood because you are groggy. Straight rolling over and getting it on. So do some foreplay. Eyes, most of the time you roll over your eyes, you each know where you are, and you're used to each other. So when you roll over, you know that you roll over, your arm goes around your partner. For a man, play with her nipples. That's what they're there for. Slide your hand down in between her legs from behind. Yeah, that little foreplay works, especially in the morning. It gets you past a little grogginess. So then, now you're both hot and bothered. And maybe you'll start out really slow in that playing around, fondling each other. And then you roll over and you spoon. But then, all of a sudden, you're alive. So remember, the little foreplay helps in the morning. It will, help you to get in the mood a little bit more. If your partner's not quite up yet, but is saying hello in other ways, little oral sex would not be a problem. Now, I just mentioned the bad breath, and no one likes the morning breath because we call it the dragon breath, and it is scary in the morning. But don't let that stop you from, going to town with each other. There are ways to get around this. Yes, you can get up and brush your teeth and then get back in bed. But generally, it's usually one partner that does it, not both. Another way you can maybe avoid that, if it's really that much of a bother to you, keep some breath mints on the side and your nightstand or on the table next to the bed. Or if neither one of you want to do either one of those things, just make sure that you go into positions that are not face to face. So this way you don't have to worry about that dragon breath in the morning. So, that doggy style does come in handy with the smoothing in the morning, because no one wants the bad breath. That would be definitely a turn off. But when you're used to somebody and you're used to your partner, sometimes that's not even a bother. They don't care. So there are other ways of looking at that. Granted, we have dragon breath, but you both have dragon breath. It's not just one over the other. It's both of you. So kiss, who cares? You know, you've got, you both wake up with bad breath. But there are other ways to go about kissing as well if you don't want to kiss in the morning due to bad breath. For men, start kissing down your partner from her chest down, playing with the nipples, sucking on them, kissing her shoulders, the stomach. Women, same thing. And then, access those other parts of the body that is really kissable to you. Go down their legs. And this goes for both of you, because men like to have their nipples fondled as well, believe it or not. So it goes both ways. So if you don't want to kiss due to dragon morning breath, put them lips to good use elsewhere. There are other parts of the body that could benefit from that. Worrying about lighting? Well, it is broad daylight out in the morning with time change. You can close the shades if you don't want the light. It's a beautiful light in the morning. Use it because it could set the perfect mood for morning sex. If your house is in the direction of the sunrise, watch it, or try and make morning sex like your timer to watch the sun come up at the same time you're going to have an orgasm. So when you are coming to that orgasm and you finish it out, the both of you can just lay back and enjoy, with those curtains open, and watch the sunrise together. And it would be such a continued mood, and such a nice continued mood. So it does work. Next, if you're still not completely sold on that morning sex, then this is where the frisky, the foreplay, the tease, other things that you may want to do for both of you to get each other off. Or you can play around orally, and a little bit of oral sex tease, and then you both can stop because you got to get up and go to work, but you're leaving that thought in not only your mind but your partner's mind for an IOU for later on when you get home. Hell, you may not be able to even make it to lunch. You might want to come home for lunch, get a quickie, go back to work, and then you'll even have more to think about and more when you get home, because then you can slow it down and just enjoy each other. So we're going to take another break here. So go replenish that drink and that snack. Come back, get relaxed again, and I will be back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Sex Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network, with your host Andra, where the topic about sex is from the point of view of an older woman. Now, welcome back to the final portion of our segment today. Now, we've talked about morning sex and all the benefits it has to offer. Well, guess what? It also offers some good, beautiful, glowy skin. So it's really good for us. It makes us ageless, to say the least. We know that through sex, our blood vessels are dilated. Blood gets the flow a lot better, getting oxygen to where it needs to go, and flowing a little easier. So obviously part of that will go to our skin. Now, that's why after we have sex, we're glowing. And most people will say, "Oh, you had some." Or people can tell there's a difference. There's a kick in your step, how we say that. But that having sex not only is good for that and making us glow and our blood flow increase, the stress. Now, when we stress, and this goes for everybody, when we are stressing, we wear it in our face. So people can notice that when you haven't gotten enough sleep, or you're stressed out, we age a lot faster than we want to. So, relieving that sex naturally, relieving that sex, absolutely. Relieving that stress through sex. So, I have to giggle at myself. Is an awesome beauty booster. I mean, not only is sex helping us, and it has so many benefits, we do still have to maintain our normal regimen of getting a good night's sleep, because we're not good to anybody, not even ourselves, if we don't. So we may be too tired for sex. So that would put a damper on things, especially since we want our blood vessels, everything in us dilated so the blood just flows more freely and boosts all those chemicals. So a full 8 hours is very, very good. And you need to take care of that, because if you don't get a good night's sleep, you don't want sex for the most part, or you're too tired. The immune system and the inflammation in us heals itself during sleep, so that's a good thing. Long sleep stretches as well. The more sleep we get, the better our bodies are. So, taking advantage of that urge to roll over and fall asleep right after you climax And generally, us women can probably go again, but we have to give our partners a break for a moment so they can recapture themselves. But for the most part, between the both of us, depending on the time of the day, it relieves us, it relaxes us, and we will fall asleep. Do not take it personal, because when we wake up, we're back to getting our strength up, getting our levels of testosterone and estrogen back up there so we can go at it again. So we gotta give our body that little bit of cat nap after sex and climax. So those orgasms, they're making us burn calories. It's a workout. I mean, you can't put it any other way. It's a workout. So our bodies are telling us, roll over, go to sleep, get a brief rest, and let's go back to it. So it's a good thing. Now, another reason as to why sex is good for the skin, and it has to do with our estrogen levels, ladies. There was a study that was conducted by the University of Michigan in 2009, which found out that having an orgasm raises the level of estrogen, which we know, in our body, which is good because estrogen actually appears to aid in the prevention of aging skin in a number of ways. So that's a really, really good thing. I mean, a lot of women go out there and buy the collagen facial moisturizers, the hydro something acrylic acid. There are so many things out there I can't even pronounce them, but they are out there that's supposed to show your face being, to pump out your face, to make it look younger, when you could be just working on what is natural in our bodies and working on that. I mean, this rise in estrogen prevents the decrease of collagen, which we are all trying to basically, replenish. It's an important protein for maintaining the appearance of, young skin, the look of young skin. So we know that collagen, provides a thickness in our skin. It keeps it resistant to the wrinkles. So if you get estrogen, which is partial part of this and what is doing all of this for you, it is it's almost like a health for your skin. That higher level of estrogen, which comes naturally in our bodies after sex, it rises it, which, you cannot beat. It's free. I mean, I can't put that any better way. So you have that long-term partner, please, can have lots of sex. You won't have to go into the store and buy anything for your face because you won't need it. Here is our next one as to why or how sex benefits our skin. Obviously, we have been talking about the glow. Well, there is that glow because of the fact that the oxygen is getting carried to our face faster because the blood vessels dilate and the blood is flowing. And it's making it to all those places that were probably constricted. And just having sex. Milk does the body good, but so doesn't sex. So it stimulates the collagen. That oxygen, the increased amount of oxygen, shall I say, stimulates that collagen production, which, comes out in our face, which says bye-bye to wrinkles. And easiest way to get rid of them. Now, I'm not saying that you should stop your world and have, sex every second of the day just so you maintain no wrinkles. That's, unless you have the time and the money to do it, go for it. But for the most part, I'm assured the majority of the world does not. So just make sure that in those off times you are taking care of yourself, maintaining your health in every way possible. Sex is one way, but we do have to maintain times when sex is not going to be our option. So continue with your daily routines of exercise and the like in conjunction with sex, a healthy sex life, spicing it up and doing different things is always a good thing. So now, there was a 2016 study that confirmed this correlation. So which that is good to know, because the younger you feel inside is how you're going to portray yourself on the outside. I wholeheartedly believe laughter is the best medicine, and always maintaining a smile is one of the biggest things, because it is very, very crucial to us in our inner balance within ourselves. So there are ways, little things. You don't even have to think hard about it. Little itty bitty things, that we don't think about every day. But we do get our glow from that, from that orgasm. It is the natural way. Our bodies are like, it's really weird because we will look outside and every creature is here for a particular reason. And they have their own particular job, if you want to call it, in life. Well, we as humans, it's the same. We have a tendency from just looking at sex sometimes as baby making. Well, yes, that is true. But there are so many other benefits and so many other things that sex can do for you, health benefit wise, feeling wise, chemical wise. Oh my God, there's so much stuff out there that sex does for us. Sex is a good thing. Having fun, having sex is very, very important. Don't ever forget that, because the minute you forget that, then sex is no fun. And I don't know about everybody else, but I'm assured you want to have fun. Everybody wants to have fun. And believe it or not, this is how we as humans actually portray that sometimes. So our human nature, if you'd like to call it that, is particularly sexually based. But have fun with it. There's a reason why we have sex. It's a reason. And Maybe Adam and Eve had something to do with it. Maybe not. But it is a good thing. So I know everybody has their own outlook on it. Just don't think too much into it and enjoy it. That is the end of my show for now. So as usual, to all my listeners out there, remember to practice safe sex. If not for your partner, for yourself. And I will talk to you next time. And we'll be talking about some more fun topics. So bye for now.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast, part of the GSMC Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcasts on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. Just type in GSMC to find all of our shows from the GSMC Podcast Network. From sex and relationships to health and wellness, life and happiness, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's episode of the Golden State Media Concepts Sex Podcast.